Hey guys, first Regardsman here, and I'll be talking about weekly hard stratagem number 46 on Space Marine 2 patch 13. This week has us back on the mission Obelisk. This is a pretty disliked mission by the community, and the battlefield conditions here are Warp Storm, a Psychic Storm periodically hits, Squad Unity, when you do not maintain close proximity to your team members, armor and contested health restoration are completely disabled, and Sharpshooter, range damage at ranges greater than 10 meters is increased by 75%. So this one is not too bad on paper, but something I want to mention here is that in patch 13, the battlefield condition Squad Unity is actually bugged to not properly function. Sometimes even when you are with your teammates, you will still have your CHP restoration disabled completely in armor regen, which is a pretty terrible thing. This almost got me killed on my solo of this on the heavy class, so the best way to circumvent that is with the sniper class with stuff like Lingering Concealment and Emperor's Grace, or on the heavy class with an Iron Halo, because if you take no damage at all, having a lack of contested health recovery and armor restoration really does not matter too much. So for that reason, I think these are the two best classes to complete this pretty easily, but having that battlefield condition be bugged, that does suck. So if you are having trouble with this, I can't blame you. Hopefully it gets fixed in patch 14, but we're gonna go to those builds now to give you guys an idea what you should use, and hopefully this will give you a better understanding of this weekly. So for the heavy build I used to complete this weekly on, I took a heroic heavy bolter and the heroic plasma pistol. The heroic plasma here can actually one-shot extremis off of versatility and brute force, which is actually pretty strong on both the hard strats and standard operations. And the heroic heavy bolter having a fencing parry window, this is super useful against the chaos spawn in the game, because chaos spawn, they're just kind of dicks when it comes to just like having to parry them on a balance window. So for the perk tree here, I do start off with the perk fast venting, going here to the perk perfect cooling, and then I pick up increased capacity, headhunter, heavy immunity for no knockback, because this will also help you out a ton versus chaos spawn, moving here into the perk adamant restoration, heavy might and heavy might for a 30% damage increase in heavy stance, and the final perks here are up to you, with discipline, fast venting down here, perpetual cooling, and then I pick up divine might, and alternatively you could skip these two to go up here for increased capacity and pick up great might instead, but these are both good options. And now for the secondary, I'm building pure damage on this one, so we go all the way through here with plasma collection into the perk rapid cooling, plasma collection again, blast radius, perpetual velocity, plasma collection, blast radius into the perk retaliation for a 25% buff for 10 seconds on a perfect dodge, and the final perk here is divine might for a 10% damage buff. Now for the perk tree, it is pretty standard. We go full tank on this one with restoration for armor restoration, obviously, into the perk here fortitude for health increase of 30%. This one straight up saved my life on my solo run because my squad unity perk did bug out on the battlefield condition, so definitely pick this up. A 30% HP increase is tremendous in Space Marine 2. If you combine this with the perk down here conviction, you will be incredibly tanky on an already pretty tanky class. Next perk here is versatility for a 20% damage buff on our secondary. This will last until you reload or switch back, but the plasma weapons don't reload at all, so it's pretty much 24/7 active. Next perk here is encompassing Aegis for a 25% range damage reduction, and the final perks are consecutive execution, power regulator, brute force for a 15% buff while Iron Halo is in cooldown, and keep in mind Iron Halo will count as in cooldown while it is active, so a really strong perk option, and offensive capability for a bit of AoE around our Iron Halo, so pretty good options overall. Now for the prestige perk options, I take reverberating impact first into the perk here auxiliary reload for ammunition economy, and the final perks are conviction and indomitable spirit, and that is all there is for this heavy build setup. Now I'm going to go show you guys the sniper setup, and I'll just give you a Pyreblaster tactical setup, because this perk here with the Pyreblaster, or I should say the interaction of the Auspex scan and the Pyreblaster burn, that is going to vanish in patch 14, so if you want to use this, this will be your last like month or so to actually take advantage of that perk combo. And that's all I have to say for this build. Hey guys, first Regardsman here, and I'll be talking about a Bolt Carbine Sniper build for Space Marine 2 patch 13 to dominate both Chaos and Tyranid operations and hard strats. Now, the ammo reserve option on the automatic Bolt Carbine is one of the best options for close range in the entire game. This thing is super ammo efficient, has a ton of damage, and even though you have 2 accuracy here, if you pick up the perk Home Precision for a 50% reduced spread while hip firing, it really does not matter at all. Like, you completely circumvent this stat entirely and get the full benefit of a fat magazine size and a fat ammo reserve. Now, for the rest of the perk tree on this, I do start off with the perk here, Headhunter first, moving here into the perk Rapid Health, but then I pick up the perk Divine Might for a 10% damage buff, then we grab Headhunter and Headhunter again for a 20% headshot damage increase, going down to Extended Magazine, Divine Might again for another damage increase, and then I pick up the perk here, Cleaving Fire. Shots will penetrate enemy block stances, dealing 25% of the usual damage. Now on this build, I am taking the block break perk, so this actually goes up to like 75%, which means you can pretty much sit in a Tyranid warrior's face and just barrel stuff them and still do a ton of damage. Really nice option for that. Moving here to the perk Adamant Hunter, when your health is below 30%, headshots will deal 25% more damage. This is a super powerful headshot damage increase, and being below 30% HP on a sniper class of things like Purification and of course Emperor's Grace and Conviction is actually pretty easy, because this sniper class is very strong at just not dying at low HP and really just not dying in general, because sniper is just kind of cracked when it comes to like recovery tools like Purification. Now, the next perk I take here is Maximum Spread Reduction of Perpetual Precision, moving up here into the perk Gunstrike Reload to instantaneously reload our weapon on a Gunstrike. Now, on this build, I am taking Argent Edge, so having Gunstrikes will happen all the damn time, and also, this might be a little bit redundant with stuff like Dexterous Hands, because you do get a faster bolt carbine reload speed off of this perk, but that being said, an instantaneous reload speed on a Gunstrike, that does feel pretty good in this game, and if you really don't want this perk, you could go here for like Recruitment instead, and if you really don't care for the top row at all, you could go all the way down here for more ammo and things like Divine Might for a 10% damage buff. That is up to you, and that's all there is for the primary range weapon. Now for my secondary weapon, I do take the Heroic Heavy Bolt Pistol Retribution's Bequest, mainly for the super high gun strike damage here, because once again, we do have an Argent Edge for gun strikes, and on top of the fact that having an option to stop reinforcement calls from long range is pretty nice on this build, because our primary is not very good at that at all, so definitely nice synergy there. Now for the perk tree here, I do start off with the perk Divine Might first, moving here to the perk Perpetual Penetration, and then I pick up Increased Capacity, Extended Magazine, and the most important perk, which is of course Death Strike. After killing a Majoris or higher enemy in melee combat, he will deal 25% more damage for 10 seconds. All you have to do to actually trigger this perk, which is melee execute an enemy, but keep in mind, you have to have your secondary equipped to trigger this effect, and if you swap off during the 10-second duration, you will lose the effect entirely. Next perk here is Great Might, moving here to the perk Strong Start, then I pick up the perk Able Damage. After using a class ability, damage increases by 20% for 10 seconds. On a sniper class, you use your Camo Cloak all the time, so really easy to trigger this over and over. Though I will say, if you want like more flat damage without any conditions, you could go up here for stuff like Discipline and of course Headhunter, but it is up to you. Next perk here is Home Precision, up here into Gunstrike Reload again, and the final perk is Tactical Precision for 20% more headshot damage with a non-headshot damage decrease of 10%, because headshot damage is like really all you care about in this gun for the most part, and especially on a sniper class where you have a 10% buff anyways, just in like our starting perk tree. Now for the melee weapon, we do take the Argent Edge. This is the best fencing weapon in the entire game. A super strong option for like any build that doesn't really want to do a ton of melee damage, because really all you have to do with this weapon is just parry enemies, get that gun strike, trigger perk effects down here like Exacting Focus, and just shoot them in the face of your bolt carbine. So a really good synergy there, and also really good for defense. For the perk tree, it does not matter too much. We just use this as a parry tool for the most part, so you can build however you want, but today I took Perpetual Strength here first, moving here to the perk Kinetic Energy, Perpetual Strength again, Heavy Onslaught, Reeling Blow, Shoulder Bash right here, which would be Shoulder Stab and Shoulder Bash, and then we take the perk here, Tide of Battle as well, and the final perk is Terminus Slayer, because that's really all you need on this weapon, because the actual damage doesn't matter too much, even though the 18 Strength is pretty nice. Now, for the perk tree here, I do start off with the perk Block Break first. Shots will penetrate enemy block stances, dealing 50% of the usual damage. Moving here to the perk Vantage Point. Remaining stationary for 2 seconds increases your ranged weapons damage by 20%. This is actually pretty easy to pull off these days with the perk over here, Lingering Concealment, because all you have to do is just go cloak, sit still, shoot your gun. You'll immediately trigger the Lingering Concealment effect to be Camo Cloaked for an extra 2 seconds, and you usually have this effect activate during that time period. And also, the Sniper Camo Cloak only has a base cooldown of 90 seconds these days, which is super easy to like cycle back into over and over now, so a really strong option here these days. Next perk here is Dexterous Hands. Bolt carbines reload 20% faster and the weapon spread recoil reduced by 15%. This is the only perk in this column that does anything for us, so definitely pick this up. Next perk is your choice of Marksmanship, Precision Targeting, or even the perk Squad Renewal. We're taking Marksmanship for a flat headshot damage buff because this is pretty nice, but if you want like less weapon spread, you could take this, and also the damage buff against Extremis and Terminus is also pretty good here. Next perk here is Purification. Manually activating Camo Cloak removes negative stats effects and restores all contested health. Now, you may be wondering, why are we not taking Renewal or Squad Renewal in this build? Well, the thing is, On the Sniper class these days, your cooldown is not that long at all, like I mentioned before, so getting back your camo cloak just like a normal cooldown is super easy, which does open up the opportunity to pick up stuff like Purification without building into, things like Renewal for more ability charge. Next perk here is Targeted Shot. The first range attack that breaks camo cloak deals 75% more damage. Now, as of patch 11 forward, the time period this perk works is actually enough to get multiple shots off on things like the Bolt Carbine and the Heroic Instigator, and for that reason you actually get 5 shots with that 75% damage buff off before it runs out, so really strong for us here and good for a little bit of extra range damage. Next perk here is Lingering Concealment. After performing an attack that breaks camo cloak, you remain hidden for 2 seconds. Because of that base cooldown reduction, this is a god tier perk now. I mean, it was already a god tier perk before, but these days it's even better, so definitely grab this. And the final perk here is Power of Excellence. Performing 3 consecutive headshots towards equipment charged by 1, the cooldown is 30 seconds. Now, the only thing the Sniper class kind of struggles with in this game is Horde Clear, so this kind of circumvents that, because if you do wind up finding things like a Melt-A-Bomb, or even like a Shock Nade, Frag, or Crack, this will help you out a ton, because a 30-second Melt-A-Bomb or Pyreblaster canister is a tremendous amount of Horde Clear value for only 3 consecutive headshots, which is super easy to do on a Bolt Carbine. And that's pretty much all there is for the main perk tree. Now we're going to go into the prestige perks here, starting off with the perk Emperor's Grace. When Camo Cloak activates, you become invulnerable to damage for 2 seconds. This perk is just mandatory in my opinion. Invulnerability in Space Marine 2 counts for damage and knockback, so you cannot be knocked over at all. You'll just phase through enemy attacks with this perk active, so a really strong utility option. Next perk here is Versatile Precision, which says performing a kill with your secondary weapon restores 15% of your primary weapon's ammo. The cooldown is 15 seconds. With this perk, you will pretty much never run out of ammo on your Bolt Carbine, and because this is a percentage restore, you will get back a ton of Bolt Carbine because you have a ton of ammo built into this weapon. Now, the final perks here are Conviction for a 25% health damage reduction for 15 seconds on Armor Break, because this is the ultimate tank perk for your class. And the final perk here is Exacting Focus, which is after a gun strike, you'll deal 20% more range damage for 10 seconds, because this is just a nice free range damage buff. And once again, we do have an Argent Edge, which makes it pretty easy. And that's pretty much all there is for this build, guys. This is one of the easiest builds in the entire game to run on any faction for the Sniper class. Really powerful perk synergies here, really powerful heroic options for him. Maybe one day the heroic Bolt Carbine will crack it even more, but for now, that's all I have to say in this one, and hopefully this build guide helped you. If you like content like this, subscribe for more, and if you want to watch me live to ask me questions about the game or just come hang out, you find me here on YouTube or on Twitch with a link in the video description, alongside a link to my community Discord. I also want to say a special thank you to my channel members. Your support has helped me make videos like this for the past 2 years now, and I really appreciate that. And as always, thank you for watching. Take it easy. Bye. Hey guys, first Regardsman here, and I'll be talking about a broken Pyreblaster build for Space Marine 2 patch 13 to positively melt hordes and bosses in this game. Now, I did mention before that the Crack and Penetrator rounds perk here, this will apply the 50% body shot damage to your burn if you swap to a bolter weapon, so I'll be doing that today because it's just kind of hilarious. They'll probably patch this next patch, but to be honest, who knows, because Crack and Penetrator rounds has been broken for 2 patches now. They might just leave us in the game forever, and honestly, it's not the worst thing ever for the game's community, so I don't think it's really that big of a problem. Now, the weapon we're using today is, of course, the Pyreblaster with the Venting Speed version. The Venting Speed version is by far the best, in my opinion, because being able to fire Pyreblaster off for longer is just way better than more ammo here, especially since we take the Emperor's Vengeance perk anyways, and this pretty much solves all ammo economy problems in the first place. Now, for the perk tree here, I do start off with the perk Improved Fast Venting, moving here into the perk Eternal Flame. Burning time increases by 25%. We are going for full burn here. Alternatively, you could go down here for stuff like Flame Purification, but for this build, we just want burn damage. So next perk is Potent Flame. Into the perk here, Flame Ascension. Burning 5 enemies restores 1 armor segment. The cooldown is 30 seconds. This is a really powerful perk effect because the Pyreblaster's contested health recovery is not really that high at all, so having an option to get armor back built into the weapon is very strong for you, so great perk here. Next perk is Potent Flame for even more burning damage. Then we go down here to the perk Flash Burn, enemies at a distance of less than 10 meters take 20% more damage. Then we go up here for Resilient Flame, and of course Pure Flame for 15% more burn damage and direct damage decreasing by 50%. Now, because we don't care too much about the direct damage, that opens up a ton of opportunities for us for stuff like Secure Stockpile, Heightened Vigor, and other options like that, instead of taking like Balanced Distribution, Relentless Pursuit, or Aligned Aim. So pretty good option for us overall. And also the perk here, Resilient Flame, charging time decreases by 75%. This is a nice quality of life feature for the Pyreblaster, pretty damn strong to just keep your burn going all the time, though I will say the Flame Purification down here for bonus melee damage is also pretty fun to use. If you want to go down here, you definitely could. Now, for the secondary, I do take the Retribution's Bequest Heroic Heavy Bolt Pistol. This is one of the best options in this build, in my opinion, mainly because the heroic perk effect here called No Help Is Coming, shooting enemy with least frame stats, dodge for conquer reinforcements, headshots kill in one shot. This will function very often in your game, and the Pyreblaster is not super good at catching guys at range anyways, so being able to just like put one bolter round into a reinforcement calling enemy is super useful for you, though I will say it doesn't always come into effect that much in like a horde up front, but for long range it's very useful for you. The next perk here is Divine Might, going here to the perk Perpetual Penetration, and then we go into the perk Increased Capacity, Extended Magazine, Death Strike, into the perk up here Great Might, and Discipline. When you have low ammo, deal 25% more damage. Now you could go all the way down the bottom row for like able damage and stuff like that, but on a tactical I would really not take this perk because you don't use your class ability that much. The Auspex has a very long cooldown in this game, and even with perk effects like Vital Data, you're just better off going for like Discipline, because this will just give you a substantial damage buff, and also goes into pretty useful perk effects here like Strong Finish and Headhunter anyways. Next perk here is Gunstrike Reload, and the final perk is Tactical Precision for 20% more headshot damage, and non-headshot damage decreasing by 10%. Now, we do lose some body shot damage here, but keep in mind the Retribution's Bequest is a bolter weapon, so it will benefit off of stuff like Crack and Penetrator rounds, and that's a pretty like nice little interaction there. It's definitely a substantial bonus, like don't sleep on that. As far as the heroic chainsword goes here, I do take the block White Scars chainsword, and mainly because if we're trying to hip fire our Pyreblaster, taking a block weapon can be very nice for that, because these don't actually give you gun strikes at all. And if you're unaware, in Space Marine 2 you cannot gun strike simultaneously with a hip fire. If there's a gun strike active, they're tied to the same key, so because of that, block giving you no opportunity for a gun strike actually helps us out a lot here, and the White Scars chainsword is the best option for this in my opinion, though the block tier relic tier here also works, or the block knife they also buffed up recently will work for that, but you know, I'm sticking this one today. Now, as far as the perk tree goes for this, I do start off with the perk here Perpetual Strength first, moving here to the perk Swift Recovery for double CHP recovery from heavy attacks. And then I grab the perk here Perpetual Strength and Perpetual Strength, and moving here to the perk Reverberating Impact. Stomp AoE radius increases by 50%. Then we go here into the perk Combined Onslaught, Heavy Onslaught, Full Throttle for the combo skip, and then I go down the bottom row for Extremis Slayer, though I will say you don't have to take Extremis Slayer if you don't want to. You go up here for Majora's Slayer, because Majora's also will just, you know, kind of get mopped up by this weapon, and you don't actually need this perk down here to hit the breakpoint on this build, especially to one shot or one combo the Extremis anyways. I'm just taking it because sometimes Extremis can be pretty annoying. Now, as far as our perk tree is concerned, we obviously take Crack and Penetrator rounds. Bolt weapons penetrate one more enemy, and non-headshot damage increased by 50%. And this is kind of the crux. Really, all you have to do is once your bolter, or excuse me, once your Pyreblaster has applied the burn, just swap to your bolter weapon, and you will get that 50% buff on your burn. And also, you can swap while you're blocking with a block weapon, so a really good synergy there as well. And I will say, if you want like a more ethical version of this build, you could take like Balanced Distribution or something, and that also works, or just take a Plasma Pistol, Plasma Boost. Next perk here is Heightened Vigor. After a perfect time parry, block, or dodge, you'll deal 10% more melee and gun strike damage. You like 12 heavy hits and cannot be knocked back for 10 seconds. We are using a block chain sword, so having no knockback is super nice for us here, and also stuff like versatility and Relentless Pursuit. This doesn't help us that much on this build. Next perk here is Emperor's Vengeance. Killing a Majoris or higher enemy with your prime weapons, killing a Majoris or higher enemy restores your prime weapons ammo by 1 magazine. Cannot exceed maximum ammo capacity. Cooldown is 30 seconds. This just solves your ammo economy entirely in operations and hard strats. You will pretty much never run out of ammo for your Pyreblaster, and the Pyreblaster is not a very ammo efficient weapon on its own, but tactical is just like that, so pick this up. Next perk here, Secure Stockpile. Equipment charged for by 1 for all team members. Cooldown is 60 seconds. Now, this is like the single best team perk and value proposition in the entire game, in my opinion. It is a ridiculously potent perk effect. A 60-second Melt-A-Bomb, Crack, Shock, Pyreblaster canister, hell, even a frag grenade, that is a ridiculous amount of value for your whole team for one perk here, and a 60-second cooldown is exceptionally low, so I'm kind of shocked they haven't nerfed this, but that being said, it's still a top tier option. We pick it up here because we really don't need the bonus range damage from aligned aim. Next perk here is Vital Data for more Auspex against Extremis or Terminus, and moving down here into the perk Precise Calibration and Concentrated Fire, and the final perk is Radiant Impact, a melee finisher, additionally deals significant AoE damage in 10-meter radius, so the cooldown is 90 seconds. And this one is finally fixed to have a proper visual effect. This was bugged in like 13.1, but they've also fixed that up in 13.2, so pretty good for us. And also keep in mind, your Auspex scan will boost up the damage of your burn on your Pyreblaster, and also so will the 50% damage bonus taken, or excuse me, the 50% damage taken debuff applied to enemies on your perfect parry or perfect block. That will also apply to your burn effect as well. So if you stack on like a parry while they're burning, and also stack on Auspex, and also swap to your bolter weapon, you will nuke them in like 2 seconds. Crack and penetrate rounds is that cracked right now, and honestly the Pyreblaster in general is just that cracked, so great combo there. Now for the prestige perk options, we take Acuity first because for whatever godforsaken reason the Pyreblaster functions with this perk, so definitely grab this. Moving here to the perk Skill Supplier, and the final perks are Resilience and Fortitude, and that's pretty much all there is for this build, guys. I mean, honestly, the prestige perk options on tack are like, okay, are you taking a Pyreblaster or a bolter weapon? You take Acuity. Oh, you're not, and you take Spare Power, and that's like the only other decision you really make, because Skill Supplier, Resilience, and Fortitude, these are just by far the best options. And Exigency Charge, this sucks Donkey Kong Bongo Cheeks, and Second Look is like okay, but pretty redundant if you actually hit your Auspexes properly. And also with Concentrated Fire, because this one will allow your Auspex scan to last longer, and if enemies leave the scanned area, they lose the effect. However, since you have this perk effect, the Second Look will not actually trigger until it runs out entirely, which means you're waiting there forever. And if even like a little, you know, Majoris walks in, it'll just trigger this perk effect anyways, and just make this completely like pointless in the first place. So don't even waste your time with this perk. And that is all I have to say in this one, guys. Hopefully this build guide helped you. If you like content like this, subscribe for more. If you want to watch me live to ask me questions about the game, or just come hang out, you can find me here on YouTube or on Twitch with a link in the video description, alongside a link to my community Discord. I also want to say a special thank you to my channel members. You guys have helped me out a ton in like the past few months. Your support's been incredible, and I seriously thank you for that. And also I thank you for watching this video, so take it. All right, guys, here we are on the new weekly with Sharpshooter, Squad Unity, and Warp Storm. Now I have brought on bots for this because that way you kind of like eliminate a lot of the more annoying modifiers. These guys tend to teleport around you, and also we are Corvus maxing as Raven Guard today. Now Obelisk is kind of a dog shit mission, as they say. I believe that's the official term for it. It's terrible, but that being said, this might get better in the next patch with the new Terminator boss, since the finale of this mission might actually be much improved. Now we are just using the heavy bolt rifle build I showed a little while ago here. Now I think a better build for this is actually the sniper build I showed, but that's also just the best true solo build in the entire game in my opinion, so. Or just the best build for operations, period. Alright, let's go over here.
The bridge is the fastest way.
Now thanks to versatility and thanks to versatility and brute force, we can one-shot Extremis. It's not him when we miss. Or at least you can one-shot them on the Snared Absolute. I've been directly tested here.
My shield is charged. If more are to come, then they too will be purged. Iron Halo ready. Our eyes need no longer gaze at this atrocity.
Alright, now this is a boss trigger up here, so be a little careful. Bosses are like the only problematic portion it's usually in. Especially once the new one comes out. Now this is the last week you can really use, the last month I should say, you can really use the Pyreblaster burn build if you wanted to, because come next patch the Pyreblaster burns will feel a lot worse. Because there will be no Auspex bonus on it. The ammo here.
Gear is satisfied. Never hesitate fulfilling his Iron Halo online.
I will say squad unity is a lot easier than the other one, which is spread out, or you have to be split up. It's pretty awful. Okay. Now, Obelisk is also the mission I did my entire cape grind on. Well, actually, this one and Box, because after a while, Obelisk is pretty boring. Now, the new grind for the cloaks coming in... Oh, we got a balance window there. The cloaks coming in the next patch, patch 14, has some PvP requirements, which are probably going to be pretty obnoxious for players. Though those will most likely be able to be completed via custom strat, just like the other ones, which is actually how I got my original PvP grinds. Because I don't know if you guys know this, but FTG, here at FTG, we don't really play PvP. I know, it's really shocking, isn't it? We're something of a scrub, the PvP. Something of a scrub in general. Because of that, I once got all my viewers to line up so I can headshot them together collectively. Now, don't tell me why they allowed me to do that. I guess they just like thought that'd be fun for them, but it's much appreciated, you guys, whoever helped me there, if you're watching. Let's go, and there's another boss. This is a boss. Should be able to obliterate the Terminator with a plasma shot.
With righteousness.
Oh, all Zangors, that's cool. I'd actually take a Terminator over that. I guess here we get both. I'll do that. That's why the plasma's peak. So we got Terminators and Zangors. It's actually pretty rude. Okay, we're gonna go over here. Hopefully they never nerf that thing. Now, because of that 75% range damage buff from Sharpshooter here as well, you can actually do a stupid amount of damage to this guy, as we're about to display. We'll pull out my secondary. Or not, because it'll teleport in my face, but you know. Or we'll do like next to no damage, I like. This time for sure. Or not. This time for sure. Whenever you melee an enemy in this game, it's an execute stance, you will get a gunstrike opportunity, so easy way to skip the animation there if you wanted to. Honestly, the worst thing about the heroic plasma in this game is that oftentimes it will skip over, or like your secondary will vanish when you swap to it, which kind of sucks. Now here comes the most boring part.
Denser than expected. My efficacy will be reduced by 10%. Brilliant, Talassa, report. The relic has been hit.
Alright, dude. Get bombed.
The enemy seeks to disrupt the battlefield.
But you want to? Okay.
The mutant has made its end.
Well, let's do this.
Their attacks will shatter. They are calling for rain. Punish them. Kiss them.
Unfortunately, my bots decided to wander away in that one very particular instance, but that's okay, because chalice will heal you. Now, when you're low HP like this, the next box you open up is almost guaranteed to be a stim. Now, we are, you know, healing off the chalice. That might not happen for us, but the way the boxes work and the way that the RNG in the game works in general is whatever you need, it'll generally give you. But it also prioritizes HP over all else. So if you are at, like, a diabolically low HP with a mortal wound, you are incredibly likely to get a stim. But there is a cooldown, which means if you're super low and you break open a box and then you get a stim, you have like a 1 minute and 30-second period where you are unlikely to get another stim. Dramatically lower. It's not impossible, it's just much lower. And if you're completely out of armor, it might give you that as well. Alright, so we got the servo skull one this time. We'll take a look. Now, the heroic plasma can make this a little obnoxious, but it's definitely worth taking, in my opinion. Oh, here we go. Oh, shit.
Found the servos go.
On this honorably with you, ministers. How may I serve?
Open the door.
Okay, there we go.
Acknowledged. I will communicate for the hill.
Here, we'll put this down real quick. We don't really have to use the sim there, because if you are put down while you have bots in this game, so I imagine most of you guys are going to be playing this with groups, it's going to be much easier. There are some benefits to bots, though, in that they will always get you up, which means if you have a an extra sim, it's pretty easy to just get your roll move back no matter what.
Iron Halo online. The relic is with me.
We'll take this, that's pretty good for the Terminators. And these guys too. Oops. Now on absolute difficulty, that will occasionally one-shot them, but and the hard strats get a little bit more HP, or damage reduction, I should say. We'll just move over here. We'll just fight these guys. We're so used to speedrunning this mission anyways, FK Prime. Oh.
Terminator. No heretic shall find peace today. I shall wait until all are present.
Now, unfortunately, here you have to wait for everyone to assemble before you can put it down, but
Free of that too.
there we go. That's the worst part over this map.
Deal with traitors. The battle continues. Advance to the device. Conversion field operational. Is this the glory Magnus promised you? The Emperor's might will crush you and your foul beliefs.
Kind of some armor boost there,
Iron Halo
like that.
online. The altars control the land. We must disrupt them to cross. The land rotates around us, brothers. This is how I shall vote. Maintain position by this altar until the next is near.
Okay. Shit. Should be able
Distance is too
to.
far for us to cross.
Well, that's not necessarily who he wanted, but then we'll take it. Could almost one-shot him. So remember, you have that 75% range damage buff here, so just shooting with the body is honestly not that bad. Also, as of patch 13 forward, they have made it so your body shot damage on these things is not too bad.
The heretic lies defeated. The dead no longer spellcaster.
Just be extra careful with snipers and losing your CHP because you won't get it back very easily. Okay, well, we just did not hit anybody we wanted to there, but it's okay. Like that, yeah, you gotta be a little careful. I do find my squad unity has been a little bugged recently, though, where I occasionally just don't get my armor, like right there. See, we're in the group, but we have to leave it and come back. This should be a sim in this box, though. Oh, I should not have used that there. Now we're just gonna go down. So at the moment, I forgot to mention that the split up, the squad unity modifier is a bit bugged recently in that it just doesn't work sometimes. It's working now, but if that does happen to you, you have to leave the mission, and then you have to come back. Or not leave the mission, you have to leave your group, you have to exit squad unity, and you have to come back into it. Now if we go down here, we'll be fine, because we have bots, but it's a little thing you gotta be aware of.
We must continue crossing.
Another reason the sniper is so strong here is that that invincibility just kind of keeps you alive the entire time, as one would expect from invulnerability.
The land rotates around us, brothers. This is how we reach our foe. We wait by the altar until the land moves closer. We cannot make it to that altar with the land like this. Our destiny lies on.
Perfect.
Prepare yourself. The land rotates around us, brothers. This is how we reach our goal. We cannot cross with this orientation. Our way. Iron Halo ready. Extermination target. Sorcerer.
Alright, this should be fairly easy even if we go down here.
He relies on down the shield. We will smash them all. This traitor has called forth orbs corrupted by the war. The orbs empower his shield. Focus attacks on them. Confirmed. Orb destruction has lowered the shield's integrity. More targets remain. Revived abominations incoming. You will destroy them when they reappear.
Alright, there we go. One more should do it. See, when you have bots like this, we're fine. Now, currently our squad unity is bugged again, but what are you gonna do? Grab the ammo. That's what we'll do.
Traitorous scum do not deserve. Iron Halo ready. sorcerer.
There we go. So even with the bug squad unity that's kind of gonna get us killed right now, all you gotta do is just run up to this at the very end and spin this shit. That was a rude one. It's closer than it needed to be, but hopefully it gives you an idea of how this one works. Things like Iron Halo, things like invulnerability on your sniper camo cloak, all those make this far easier because even if you don't have any contested health recovery or armor regen, taking 0 damage kind of circumvents that. So that is the weekly this week. And yeah, we'll see the stats, and that's all I have to say in this one. And if you guys want help with this, I will be helping periodically throughout the week on this one. And if you want to watch me live, that's questions about the game, or just come hang out, you can find me here on YouTube or on Twitch with a link to my community Discord as well in the description below. And I also want to say a special thank you to my channel members while we're here in this loading screen. You guys have been super supportive over the past, like, 2 years, really, and helping make content like this. So I do appreciate that, guys. And also, if you're curious with the stats, there we go, 21,000 range damage. Definitely carried our bots. Take it easy, guys.